SALT2. Shadows of Deception. The rain hammered down on the streets of Berlin, slicking the cobblestones in silver. Evelyn SALT Angelina Jolie moved like a ghost through the narrow alleys, her hood drawn low, her eyes sharp and calculating. For years, she had lived in the shadows, hunted by governments who once trusted her, a fugitive caught between myth and reality. But tonight was different. Tonight, SALT was not running, she was hunting. In the distance, a motorcade sliced through the rain. The target. A meeting of covert operatives, men tied to a conspiracy whispered only in corridors of power. They called it the Ascendancy, a cabal bent on destabilizing the world order. SALT melted into the crowd, waiting for her opening. Half a world away, in Washington, D.C., a man sat alone in his office long past midnight. His name was Samuel Kane Denzel Washington, Deputy Director of the CIA. Decades in the field had carved steel into his bones and wisdom into his eyes. He was respected, feared, and, by some, quietly resented. On his desk lay a file stamped classified. Inside were photographs of SALT, blurry surveillance stills, dossiers riddled with conflicting intelligence. Some claimed she was rogue, a traitor. Others insisted she was humanity's last line of defense. Kane leaned back, his gaze heavy. He'd crossed paths with her once before, a whisper in the chaos of Moscow, an ally who appeared, then vanished. He knew one thing for certain. Evelyn SALT was no enemy. But convincing the agency of that truth would be impossible. Moments later, his secure line rang. Kane answered. "She's resurfaced," said a voice. "Berlin." Kane closed the file. "Then I'm going to Berlin." Berlin, 2:14 a.m. SALT perched on a rooftop overlooking the Brandenburg Gate. Her eyes traced the motorcade below, memorizing patterns of guards, intervals of movement. But something tugged at her instincts. A presence. Watching. SALT, a deep voice murmured from the shadows behind her. She spun, knife drawn, but froze when her eyes locked on him. "Kane, you shouldn't be here," she said. "Neither should you." Kane's tone carried authority but also something else, concern. "You've got every agency in the world looking for you. You step into Berlin, you light a bonfire on your own head." SALT's blade didn't waver. "Then why are you here?" "To find out what you're chasing. Because if you're here, it's bigger than Berlin." SALT studied him, rain dripping down her face. Kane wasn't just another bureaucrat, he'd lived this life. He carried scars you couldn't see. Against her better judgment, she lowered the knife. "They call it the Ascendancy," she said quietly. "And tonight, they're meeting to finalize something catastrophic. A sleeper directive, global scale. If they succeed, the Cold War will look like a chess game." Kane exhaled slowly. "Then we stop them. Together." The motorcade arrived at a neo-Gothic estate outside Berlin. Inside, men in tailored suits gathered, their accents stretching across continents. Plans were laid out, encrypted devices passed hand to hand. SALT and Kane infiltrated from opposite ends. She moved like smoke through corridors, disabling guards with lethal precision. Kane, relying on experience rather than speed, blended into the structure, his pistol steady, his presence commanding. In the grand chamber, they converged, unseen allies in a nest of vipers. SALT whispered into her calm, "They're activating cells. Washington, Moscow, Beijing. Coordinated strikes. Then we cut the head," Kane replied. But just as they prepared to strike, alarms blared. They'd been expected. Doors slammed shut. Floodlights snapped on. From the balcony above, a tall figure stepped forward, a ghost from SALT's past. Orlov's protégé, now the leader of the Ascendancy. "Evelyn SALT," he sneered. "Always meddling. Did you think you could stop destiny?" Dozens of armed men flooded the room. Kane and SALT found themselves back to back, surrounded. "You take left," Kane muttered. "You're too slow," SALT shot back with a faint grin. What followed was chaos, gunfire, broken glass, shadows erupting in violence. SALT flowed through the fight like a storm, every strike calculated, every move fatal. Kane, steady and unflinching, fired with precision, each shot a promise kept. Side by side, they carved a path through the impossible. They escaped into the night, barely alive, pursued through Berlin's underbelly. In a safe house, bloodied and breathless, Kane finally confronted her. "You could have told me the truth years ago. You weren't running from us. You were running to protect us." SALT met his gaze, the weight of years pressing on her shoulders. "You don't understand, Kane. They've infiltrated everything. Governments, agencies. Trust is a luxury I can't afford." "Then trust me." His voice cut through the silence. For the first time in years, SALT allowed herself to believe she wasn't alone. Days later, the trail led them to Geneva. A peace summit. World leaders gathered in one place. The ascendancy planned to spark chaos, assassinate key figures, and trigger a war no one could stop. Disguised as delegates, SALT and Kane slipped into the summit. Every second was a countdown. Every shadow, a threat. The moment came. A sniper poised above, a bomb beneath the chamber, chaos ready to ignite. SALT disarmed the sniper with a single, brutal move, while Kane located and disabled the bomb seconds before detonation. But the leader of the ascendancy escaped into the night, leaving behind a chilling promise. This is only the beginning. After Geneva, SALT and Kane stood on a rooftop overlooking the city, exhaustion etched into their faces. They'll never stop, Kane said. Neither will we, SALT replied. He studied her, this enigma of a woman who carried the world on her shoulders yet stood unbroken. What's next for you? SALT's eyes drifted to the horizon. The world thinks I'm a traitor. Maybe it's better that way. I can move where they can't. Fight where they don't look. Kane nodded slowly. And if you need backup. A faint smile curved her lips. I know where to find you. As dawn broke over Geneva, they parted, two warriors bound not by loyalty to flags or agencies, but by something stronger, the unyielding fight against the shadows that sought to consume the world.